Hey guys, CJ with Roswell Astronomy here out of Roswell, Georgia, and today we're going to review iOptron's CEM60. Has developed a nice line of a very revolutionary design called the Center Balanced Equatorial Mount, or a CEM for short. Starting with their CEM25, which has a payload capacity of 27 pounds, it goes right up to a CEM120, which has a 115-pound capacity. Now, while all these have the same base features, there are optional units that include Wi-Fi, LAN, and high-resolution encoders, but of course they do cost a lot more. Now mine is the CEM60, as you see right here. Now the CEM design allows for a better stability with the payload suspended over 2 points rather than over one, which is common in most of today's typical designs. Using 2 points of contact distributes the weight better rather than having it hang out over the shaft on one end. This actually keeps the weight between 2 points directly over the center of the mount, which of course is over the sitting on top of your tripod or your pier. Now, with equal weight distribution, this also means less material footprint weight, which is what exactly iOptron has done with the CEMs. Now, the head of the CEM weighs 27 pounds, and now that may not seem like a lot, but also consider this: the G11 weighs 33 pounds, and that's not if you're using the RA extension kit. And the CGX, which by the way only has a 55-pound capacity, well, she weighs in a staggering 44 pounds. So not even in the same class. First, looking at the CEM60, I am reminded of a piece of high-precision medical equipment, not a tool for astronomy. The off-white textured finish, the nice shiny bolts, the little ports, and certainly a very unique and interesting design. It's definitely what sets it apart from that industrial look of the CGX or the steampunk look of the G11. Now, don't get me wrong, both of them are beautiful in their own right, but this just says something completely different to me, especially when I took it right out of the box. What we're looking at initially, well, to start with, the patent-pending non-contact magnetic load gear system is something that is totally new and almost alien-like to me, to be honest. The clutches are more like stereo knobs, and they're far from the brutal levers or industrial strength aluminum knobs of the other manufacturers. 2 fingers and just a light touch is all that is needed to set the clutches, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else there. You're not torquing down. High precision stepper motors with a 0.06 arc-second accuracy. Though, as I stated earlier, you can also get to the high precision encoder option as well. Plus, the counterweight shaft is adjustable to a 0-degree latitude adjustment by simply moving these bolts right here. Will allow this to basically kink out so that you can use it in a 0 latitude. The things she shares with the competition are standards such as your go-to hand controller, an ST4 guider port, or all that is adjustment knobs, counterweights, etc., things like that. But what sets her beyond the others' reaches is more important and what we really should be concentrating on right now. So the first thing is, iOptron is proud. They are so proud that they actually send you a printed copy of the PE curve test report at the factory once it's been built and tested. You get that by serial number for every one of the mounts that go out the door. In addition, iOptron's go-to Nova hand controller has over 300,000 objects loaded into the database. It's large, easy to read screen, and it's even a heated controller. There's a setting in here where you can actually turn the heat on for those cold nights, if you can believe that. In addition, it even has its own red light that you can turn on so you can find things in the dark by using that right there. Pretty interesting. And on top of that, it also has built-in GPS. That's right, you don't have to buy a GPS unit, it comes standard. Oh, and the polar alignment, get this, it comes standard with its own LED lit polar scope. Can't make this stuff up, people, seriously. Usually you have to buy these, nope. It's got a polar scope already mounted, and you have a cable that connects from here right up to here on this side, and that powers the LED lit reticle on the inside. Part of the polar alignment routine that this has, and this is also kind of an interesting thing, under the alignment, it'll actually tell you the position of Polaris, which is to aid you in order to set up your polar alignment. So if you're not using a PoleMaster or some other device, or if you're using PhDs for PhD2 polar alignment routines, you've got this right here, which to me is pretty impressive for what they give you. And again, it's stock, it's standard, it's not an addition. Looking up on the deck, you have 4 USB ports right here, here, and here that you can tie your equipment into, along with 2 DC power ports located here and here. Now, to connect the power and to supply the hub, you would basically just connect into the backside here with your USB 2.0 and your incoming power down here to the bottom, which would then power up your deck. And while this is not groundbreaking, they also include a little level, which is kind of nice, I guess. It's down here on the base. I'm not really sure if you can see it real well, but you get a little level. That's kind of cute. It's pretty nifty. But the other thing which makes it interesting too is they also have a compass that's down here on the lower foot as well. So you get a compass and you get a level. Pretty cool, but you know, everybody now I think does use levels at some portion. You can customize the cable management system. Here in the spring-loaded saddle plate, this will cover both the Vixen and Lismonti style plates. And through the center here, this runs down through your center axis, at which point you can pull up your own different types of wiring. If you want to extend a different cable out to your equipment on top of your deck. Right now, this is all wired in for the standard stuff that's on the back side here. So that is advantageous if there is other things you want to run up there, such as a specialty type of connector or something of that nature. Now, you also have a choice of mounts that you can put these on, anywhere from the CEM25s up to the 120s. You can use it on a standard tripod, a tri-pier, or you can buy a pier plate. Now, I have mine mounted on a tri-pier, and it is rock solid despite it only weighs 26 pounds, and it folds up very neatly into a small rolling case. The height adjustment on it is anywhere from 31 inches up to 42 inches in height, and it also comes with built-in but removable vibration suppression feet. Another nice touch that you don't have to go and buy for. Now, what else is included? Well, it comes in its own standard aluminum carrying case. In the case, you get the counterweight bar, the controller, the AC adapter, the Polar Scope LED cable, and the RS-232 to RJ9 cable. Not in the case, but also included is your 21-pound counterweight. So, are there any cons? I mean, what doesn't have a con? All right, so this is more of a gripe than really a con. I guess it depends on how you look at it. First off, the knobs on the deck, they're a little close here. They're just a little bit close to the side. So with the plate on and everything, you're kind of knuckle busting here as you're going around. And the same can be said concerning the slightly, what I would consider to be undersized altitude adjustment nut right here on the bottom. Very small, very tucked in, very hard to get to. While it's nice having this 4-port USB hub here on the top, it's only 2.0 and it's unpowered. So hence what I do is I just bypass it completely because it's worthless to me being 2.0 since all my equipment is 3.0, and I just attach a USB 3.0 hub right here on the back side, which is still perfect. It's out of the way, It's not on the deck, but it is out of the way. And that would have been nice. You know what, guys? Everyone's using 3.0 now. Let's go to 3.0 hub, 2.0 backwards compatible, and let's power it up. The polarscope LED has to be connected, which again runs from here down to your polarscope here in order to get the reticle to light up. That would have been nice had it been internally connected. I'm not sure why they made it separate. It has something to do with the mechanics of it, I'm sure, but it would have been nice had it been connected. Finally, the case. I mean, the case, it's tight, and I mean it is really tight, and it's very difficult to get the mount head out. And actually, you know what though, I'm not sure that really should be a con, especially the way I drive, you know, with that thing bouncing around in the back. So, okay, maybe not a con. It's tight, it's hard to get out, but you can work around that. And finally, I'd really like to see USB connections for the mount control instead of RS-232. That was something that looked like it was going to be good when CGX came out with theirs, was that they had two USB 2.0 connections, and everybody was thinking that that was going to be for the ASCOM control. And it turned out it was something a little bit different. I'm not sure if they've rectified that yet or not, but you know, 232 is ancient. It's going out of style. Even the G11, you know, the Gemini 2 unit has Ethernet connectivity and USB connectivity for ASCOM. That would have been nice to have seen on the CEM60. Let's get away from the RS-232. If we're all using ASCOM, let's all get back to USB, and let's go with USB 3.0 on everything. All right, that's it as far as gripes. Nothing else there. So with those things aside, it is seriously nice mount for an awesome price, especially in its field. But what about real-world application? While it has its own quirks and rules you have to follow, like paying special attention to the clutches when loading and unloading and balancing it, it is easy to set up, it is ASCOM compliant, and it has an easy to use and navigate mount control program, which is called, I believe it's iCommander. It works beautifully with SGP right out of the box. It has great tracking. And if you're curious about that, because, you know, I can tell you all day long how good it is, but, you know, if I don't actually show you some proof, maybe that's a little bit difficult. So here's some pictures of it with the actual backlash graph that I ran off of PhD2, an actual running graph of it in operation, and of course the target being painted. Now, I've owned the AVX and the CGX mount until here recently I also owned a G11. Now, while they all have their advantages, I am truly impressed with iOptron CEM60 right out of the box. It performs well, it does not have a high learning curve, it simplifies a lot of things, and it comes with a lot of standard items that are normally high-priced options for other manufacturers. So if you're considering a mount in the 50 to a 60-pound payload capacity range, you definitely want to consider iOptron CEM60. As always, thanks for watching, and clear skies.